YouTube is a platform designed for creators to share their ideas, entertain, and connect with audiences worldwide. But sometimes, among the countless voices, dark secrets hide. Bad actors who reveal their true, disturbing selves. In today's video, we're exposing some of the most despicable YouTubers, from murderers and child predators to abusers. These are people who don't deserve a second chance. They belong behind bars, serving life for their crimes. Simply Manic 6075. Simply Manic 6075, also known as Samantha Warford, created her YouTube channel on October 6, 2010. Her content was typical of early YouTube, mostly vlogs, teenage parenting discussions, and viral challenges like the Cinnamon Challenge. Among the reoccurring faces in her videos was her husband Ernie Ibar Jr., who appeared in uploads like Candid Moments Around My House. Samantha and Ernie's relationship faced many challenges, especially when it came to her constant filming and public sharing of their private life. Ernie was reportedly uncomfortable with how often she exposed their family online. Despite a brief separation and allegations of abuse, the couple reconciled and married in 2014. But only a year later, the horror would unfold.
This is just a video, I guess, trying to tell you, learn to appreciate the things that you have in life. You don't really know when it's going to be the last time you have it. It may not even be the people around you that die. You may be the one to go. Nobody really knows.
In the early hours of February 20th, 2015, Samantha made a frantic call to police claiming that masked intruders had broken into her home, tied her up, and kidnapped her husband at gunpoint. At first glance, it looked like a terrifying home invasion, but investigators quickly noticed the inconsistencies in Samantha's story. Her account didn't add up, and soon a darker truth came to light. She had orchestrated the kidnapping and murder of her own husband, enlisting the help of three men: Jonathan Sanford, Jose Antonio Ponzi, and Octavius Rhymes. Authorities uncovered text messages between Samantha and her accomplices, proving she had been planning the murder for weeks. The messages weren't vague, they were explicit. One chilling text read, "Kill his phone, ditch phone, move." Samantha wanted her husband dead, and she didn't intend to get her own hands dirty. She manipulated three men by claiming Ernie was abusive, hoping to win sympathy and justify what they were about to do. Originally, the plan was just to plant drugs in Ernie's vehicle and get him arrested, but the plan escalated quickly, fueled by Samantha's lies and emotional manipulation. The three men turned a setup into a murder. To make the kidnapping look real, Samantha tied herself to the chair, staged the entire crime scene, and called her aunt over earlier that night to help with the kids. Using her as an unwitting witness to strengthen the illusion of a home invasion, she wanted to appear as another victim. Meanwhile, Ernie was beaten, forced into a vehicle, and driven to a remote area. There, he was shot in the back of the head and left for dead. The entire operation, from the fake break-in to the brutal execution, was not only planned but scripted by Samantha, all while maintaining her public image as a loving mother and vlogger on YouTube. It didn't take long for police to connect the dots. Text messages, witness testimonies, and phone tracking data prove Samantha was at the center of the plan. She and the three men were arrested and charged with kidnapping, conspiracy to commit murder, and tampering with evidence. During the trial, prosecutors argued that Samantha manipulated the men into doing her dirty work to avoid a divorce, custody, or fight. In 2016, Samantha Warford was sentenced to 99 years in prison. Three men she recruited were all sentenced to life in prison. Samantha's children were thankfully placed into protective care, far from the chaos that their mother had created. Once a small content creator sharing her daily life, Simply Manic 6075 is now infamous for one of the darkest crimes connected to a YouTube figure, a woman who used the internet to shape a persona and manipulation to destroy a life. Tony 48219. Tony 48219, also known as Anthony Powell, ran multiple channels where he uploaded vlogs, rants, and hate-filled commentaries, primarily targeting black women, atheists, Muslims, and especially female content creators. In these videos, he often spoke about women being the downfall of society and how he felt ignored, unwanted, and betrayed. This is my last video. I'm just tired of this world. No one listens, no one cares, the devil is running this planet. Many brushed it off as just another angry guy venting online. But behind the scenes, his hatred was festering, and it would eventually lead to one of the most disturbing murders linked to a YouTube creator. Anthony Powell was a student at Henry Ford Community College in Dearborn, Michigan. While he rarely posted personal details in his videos, his digital footprint painted a dark psychological picture, one of extreme misogyny, religious obsession, and a growing desire to end his own life. One of the people in Anthony's orbit was Asia McGowan, a fellow YouTuber and aspiring actress. She was also a student at Henry Ford Community College. Asia posted comedy skits, dance videos, and she had a pretty small following at the time and was well liked among friends. But according to later investigations, Anthony had developed a dark fixation on her. He watched her videos obsessively and believed she was mocking him, or in his mind, disrespecting God. Asia never publicly responded to him, but in the weeks before the murder, she made a video talking about being harassed and feeling unsafe. That video has since been removed, but friends confirmed she felt uneasy around a certain classmate, now believed to be Anthony. On April 10th, 2009, during a quiet afternoon at Henry Ford Community College, Anthony entered a classroom where Asia was rehearsing alone. He brought a 12-gauge shotgun, and without saying a word, he raised the weapon and shot Asia McGowan multiple times, killing her instantly. Students and faculty heard the gunshots and rushed to the scene, but before anyone could intervene, Anthony turned the gun on himself and committed suicide. In the aftermath of the events, authorities and journalists began digging into Anthony's online activity. They discovered a disturbing catalogue of hate, dozens of YouTube videos, many ranting about race, religion, and suicide. Archived comments from former viewers reveal how deeply toxic his content was. I reported his video last week. He said he had a gun and would use it soon. I wish YouTube did something. After the murder, YouTube permanently deleted his accounts, but not before most of his videos were archived by users on forums. Asia's family launched a memorial in her honor, and the college strengthened on-campus security and mental health awareness programs. But what stings the most is how visible the warning signs were, and yet no one did anything to help. Austin Jones. Austin Jones started his YouTube journey as a passionate and talented singer, quickly capturing the attention with his unique covers of popular songs. Unlike many creators who rely on heavy editing or flashy production, Austin's videos were simple, just his voice and raw talent. The authenticity helped him build up a loyal fan base, mostly made up of teenage girls who admired not only his musical abilities, but his approachable and wholesome personality. He quickly earned a reputation as the nice guy of YouTube music, someone who seemed genuine, kind-hearted, and relatable. His content was filled with positivity and encouragement, making his channel a safe space for young fans to enjoy music. At his peak, Austin had hundreds of thousands of subscribers, with fans eagerly awaiting every new cover or update. This early success painted a picture of a promising young creator with a bright future, but as we'll see, that image was far from the whole story. Between 2013 and 2017, Austin Jones abused the trust of his young audience. He groomed underage fans, some as young as 13 years old, convincing them to send him sexually explicit videos disguised as auditions for his music videos. This was a premeditated and ongoing abuse of power. One victim later shared, "He made me believe it was a way to support him, to help him, but it was really just an abuse of power." In 2017, the carefully hidden truth about Austin Jones' actions finally came to light. Law enforcement launched an investigation after reports and evidence surfaced about his inappropriate conduct with underage fans. The authorities gathered a substantial amount of evidence, including explicit messages and videos exchanged between Austin and several victims. Victim testimonies played a crucial role in exposing the full extent of his crimes, painting a clear picture of the manipulation and exploitation that had taken place over several years. The overwhelming evidence left little to no doubt about his guilt. As a result, Austin Jones was arrested and formally charged with receiving and possessing child pornography, serious federal offences that marked the beginning of his downfall. The arrest sent shockwaves through the YouTube community, shaking the trust of fans who once admired him and raised urgent questions about the safety and accountability of online influencers. In 2019, Austin Jones pled guilty to the charges in federal court. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison, a sentence reflecting the serious nature of his crimes and the breach of trust with his fans. Randy Stair. Randy Stair, also known by his online alias Andrew Blaze, was a 24-year-old from Eaton Township, Pennsylvania. From a young age, Randy struggled with feelings of isolation and mental health issues, including depression and identity struggles. He spent much of his time online creating animated videos on YouTube that reflected his inner turmoil and complex emotions. His content often featured dark themes and fictional stories, many centered around characters he identified with, such as an anthropomorphic cat named Ember. Randy's videos revealed a deeply troubled mind, wrestling with feelings of alienation, loneliness, and confusion about his identity. He expressed these feelings through his animations and writing, providing a glimpse into his fragile mental state. In the months leading up to the tragedy, Randy's online behavior became increasingly alarming. He posted videos and messages hinting at his growing despair and detachment from reality. In one video, he honestly said, "I've made my decision. I don't want to live in this world anymore." His farewell video, uploaded shortly before the shooting, was chilling. In it, Randy described his feeling of hopelessness, his obsession with his fictional world, and his belief that he would never truly belong in the real life. He mentioned feeling like an outcast and expressed a desire to escape his pain in a final, violent act. On June 8, 2017, Randy Stair took his anger and pain into the real world in a devastating way. Armed with 2 pistols he legally owned, he entered the Weir's Market supermarket where he worked and opened fire on his co-workers. The shooting lasted just minutes, but the impact was profound. Randy killed 3 of his co-workers, Victoria Brong, Brian Hayes, and Terry Lee Sterling, before turning one of the guns on himself and committing suicide. Authorities described the scene as chaotic and heartbreaking, with bystanders and employees left traumatized by the sudden violence. In the aftermath, investigators pieced together Randy's mental state through his online posts and videos. His suicide note and online activity revealed his deep detachment from reality and his fixation on his online persona and fictional world. The shooting shocked not only the local community but also the broader public, highlighting the challenges of addressing mental health and violence in society. Many expressed sympathy for the victims and their families, while also seeking to understand how Randy struggled had gone unnoticed and undressed. Randy Stair's story is a sobering reminder of how untreated mental illness and feeling of isolation can quickly escalate into horrific acts of violence. It underscores the critical need for better mental health resources, increased awareness, and compassionate intervention before despair turns into tragedy.